Told you about equality. It's true, either you're wrong or you're right. Woo. Think about me, it doesn't matter if you're black or white. Woo. Felt that in my pinky toe. And I got a crew that feel that too. Let's talk about it. All right, we're back. I'm with my friends
Addison, Nia,
Braylin,
and Garrett.
and we're going to talk about racism and equality. My first question is, what comes to mind when you hear about racism, Addison?
Kind of like making fun of colored people.
What do you mean by that?
Like, like being judged, like judging them and like, what they do or, just kind of like how they are.
Sometimes that can turn into bullying. Always, anytime, bullying. What do you think? Well, Braylin, what do you think about bullying? Bullying.
Oh, well, I just think it's wrong and people shouldn't do it, really.
Nia, how do you feel about racism today?
I feel like it's an outrageous problem that goes on in the world, and I feel like that less people should stop doing it, because like a lot, like you said, like racism can turn into bullying, and a lot of people, like when some teenagers and kids, when they get bullied and stuff, they turn to suicidal thoughts and stuff like that, and like a lot of people in this generation have mostly died from suicide and like cutting themselves, and I just don't think it's right, and like people should do things just to stop it.
Cool. So Garrett, when you think about racism and you go out in public, when did you know that you were different from my color or any other racial color?
Well, when I was little, I always had either black or white friends, and I didn't care. Like I didn't want to bully them. I didn't even think about. I didn't even know anybody was gonna bully anybody just because of their color. And I didn't know why. There was two different colors because I was like 4 or something. But now that I think about it, like all my black friends, they're no different than my white friends. They're no different than my white friends. And like one of them might laugh too much, one of them might be sad too much, but they still have stuff in common, which people shouldn't bully or anything about that.
Cool. So this question goes to all of you. What positive, what would you do to stop the racism today?
I would take a stand like Martin Luther King.
Yeah, I would just hold my own speech about like you need to stop it, and what we like as a community we need to come together to stop racism.
Maybe I would create like a group from like everybody in the community and stuff, and like gather them together, like talk to teenagers and talk to kids about like suicidal thoughts and like bullying and racism, and tell them why it's like wrong and like stuff like that, just to let them know like you're not alone if you're being bullied, like race, like being judged because of your like color or anything. Like we're here for you, and you don't have to worry. Like, yeah.
Garrett, what would you do?
Well, one like Martin Luther King, he started off with a group like to build up and build up, and now that I think about it, it's like nobody really thinks about it, but what he's done so much. Like now that today we're all together, and it doesn't matter. And what I would do, I would stand up and I would tell them no, it's okay, and I would help them, and I would teach them that it's okay and I'm always there for you. So nobody should be bullied.
It happens all around the world.
Mhm.
Different groups get punished sometimes, get killed sometimes, and then you go back to segregation with the black and white people. It was so much going on. Martin Luther King led marches, he was assassinated, then more people came into place, and then it finally came to the law that there could not be, racism or anything. And it didn't just happen to white and black people, it was with the Koreans and the Spanish, and it happens every day. You know, I don't really get bullied, but I know some people that are racist, and can't control it because they were probably taught that way. How do you feel about parents teaching their kids to be racist?
Well, I think it's kind of wrong because like look at us. We're all very good friends, and look at we're all different. We're all different colors, and it doesn't matter because we all care for each other and we're there for each other. And I think that parents teaching their kids that others stay away from it, I think it's wrong because we should all be able to kind of like get to know others, and staying away from somebody like just different is just very wrong in my opinion.
Thank you. We'll be right back after this break. I want to talk to my brother or sister that feels like nobody knows. We're back with Addison, Nia, Braylin, and Garrett. So I want this to go to Braylin. What do you think equal rights is?
I think it's when like we both have like white and black people have the same rights and when we was in class white people have better waterfronts than blacks, and I think that's not fair. So we both should have like equal amounts of stuff, and I think we should just debate on colors.
hmm So all of you, how did you feel when you found out about segregation? Starting with Garrett.
I thought, um, like, it was just wrong, and there shouldn't be a difference. Like, and black should be with whites, and like they should be friends. And like, what I still don't understand is why would you have have I'm sorry. Have a friend that's
Sorry. I'm sorry.
saying why you would have a white friend and he would be bullying or something about a black friend. And like what I said, they're both equal and like they have a lot of stuff in common.
Okay, Braylon.
Well, I just think that it's like wrong to separate. Like if you have a white friend and your mom just comes out there and say, "Why are you playing with this person?" and it makes people upset because like they don't really get, if they have white friends, they don't get to see them because their parents are teaching them like to be racist and stuff.
And that happened to Martin Luther King. I don't know if you saw the story,
I did.
but he was playing with two white boys, and they were sneaky about it. And his mom, the white boy's mom,
They did
took him
like it.
away from Martin Luther King. It was just so sad. So Nia, next.
I thought that was Jackie.
No.
Oh no, I'm giving up.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that I don't know how to put this, but I feel like that how Jackie Robinson the story was, he was playing with the white girl, and what happened was when they were very very young, and the dad came out and just hit him with a rock, and he had ran home and stuff. I feel like that's just outrageous because it's just not right to treat someone like that, because you want someone to treat someone you want African Americans to treat Caucasian people right, but like you're not doing the same for them. Like how is that
Mhm.
supposed to be equal? But like you know how like they came up with the saying separate but equal. If the black African American people are treating the white people right, then why are the white people not treating like African American people right? Like that's not separate and equal. That's just separate and separate.
Right.
So like there shouldn't be a difference on like if you're white or black
Mhm.
because like you're the exact same people. You're just a different color.
Mhm. Addison.
What I think about segregation is like kind of adding on what Garrett, Braylin, Leah said is that it's wrong. It's
Mhm.
just I don't know how to put it, but it's just you look at it today and you see how people don't care and people get called names and how so many different races are judged and just it's not right and like how there's some people that we know and like some people that we know they're racist and they think that segregation can still happen and that's wrong and stuff and I mean like Mia said how they said equal
Right.
but it's not equal when we look back at like when everybody was like very racist and Martin Luther King you know African American people, their schools and like their homes, and they were just not equal to what white people had. And like how their houses were nicer, the schools were nicer, and like how how both races were like separated just because of one certain thing that's different from somebody else's.
Right. Nia, have you ever experienced racism?
Actually, yes. I was on the bus one time. It was like at my very, very old school. But I was on the bus one time and like there would be this white person that would always call me names. One time I actually had to go to like the principal because of it. He had called me the N word, which I really didn't like. I came home. Well, I went to my mom's work and I was crying my eyes out. My mom was like, "Who is this kid? Like, why did he call you that?" And I was just like, so it was like, I don't know. And like, I called my best friend and she was like, that's just like unacceptable. Cause like, I'm like, my best friend at that time, she used to live in like this old place. And she had another friend and her name was, I'm not gonna say names, but she had another friend. And like, we're friends right now because we made it up. But like, she would always talk about like, how do you like this girl when she's a different skin color? And like, I just like broke out in tears because I already had someone called me the N word, and then I had another person judging me because of my skin color. But like, I never thought that like something like that would ever happen today. I like that specific day just like made me break down, and I like never felt that way like ever in my life.
Garrett, have you ever experienced racism?
Yes, I have. And so I used to have a good friend, and he was black, and so I had no clue until a year later that this was happening, and so we were just friends, and he started getting suicidal thoughts, and he started cutting himself because his mom had passed away when he was born, and all of that was on him. And then a boy comes up and starts being racist about him. And then a year later, I figure out he hasn't told anybody because a year later, I'm the first one that he's the first one that I've told. I think I said that right. He told me first, and I was like, dude, we need to talk. And I set up, like the next day I came over. It's just me and him, and we went in my little hideout playroom, and I was like, so who is this kid? And the kid was actually one of my good friends, and I had no clue that he was doing it. And so I was like, dude, you need to stop, cause this guy's been through a lot, and he needs to take a break, and he needs to catch up with his parents, cause he's actually run away one time.
Oh.
And yeah, and his life is, and I know his life's gonna be much harder, but people are gonna be there for him, and it's not just gonna be black people. It's gonna be white and black people.
Well, it's funny now, but I was actually called a black donut. It's funny now, but back then it was not very funny. And see, I told you it's funny.
Like, it's funny, but like,
Yeah.
it's mean at the same time.
Mhm.
But like, I was just thinking of like a burnt donut. I don't know why. I was just thinking of a burnt donut.
Yeah.
I was literally thinking of a burnt donut just now, and then you said black donut, and I was like,
What the heck?
But yeah, I was actually called that, and I mean, I was mad, but now that it's over with, I kind of laugh at it now. Me and the dude are bad friends now. I'm not gonna say no names, but we're bad friends, and we're yeah, it's pretty cool. So thank you for being on my show, and stay tuned for my final remarks.
When we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are
free at last.
The show turned out so well, and it was so good. And I just want to thank Addison and Braylin and Garrett for sitting down and talking to me about what they think about racism, segregation, and equality. And it went so well, like I said. And I just thank y'all. And make sure you subscribe and please share with others. See you next time.